All right, so today's topic is shell scripting. As Rashuni already told, shell scripting is a crucial thing to learn and is very demanding in today's technology world. So we'll discuss the pros in the later part of this presentation. Let's first start what it is before knowing what it, how it can help you in your career. Let's first understand what it actually is. So I'm hoping that each one of you has a little bit Linux background. You at least know what Linux is and how it works. So just not as an advanced user, but just as a just as a simple user, like how things work in Linux, and that's pretty much it. That's the prerequisite. So let's start. So this is the agenda for this webinar. We'll get to know what is shell and what shells are available for Linux and what is shell scripting, then the components of shell scripting and running commands from shell scripts, comparison operators. These are some things, some logical things that we are going to discuss and use in this webinar, conditional statements, loops, and the opportunities for you. So why do you care about learning shell scripting, right? So how it can help you to gain a boost in your career. All right. So what is shell? So when we talk about shell, shell is an interface between the operating system and the user. So how are you going to use an operating system? So say you are on Windows, how do you use it? You click on something, you open by clicking things, you hover on things. But Linux is not the one which provides GUI, although it provides GUI, but that is not efficient way to use Linux servers. In servers, we do not have GUI. It's only CLI, and CLI is the most powerful way to do it, way to do the things. So shell scripting is a kind of utility that allows you to run other commands and utilities inside it, right? So it is the first thing that runs when a system starts, right? So this is how shell looks like. You get a dollar. Dollar means user, hash means root. So this looks like this. We run command, we get the output from that server. Don't worry if you don't understand it right now. We'll go through it in detail in coming slides, and we'll definitely are going to have a hands-on. So shells available for Linux. So there are multiple shells. There are plenty of shells available for Linux. People have written many shells. Many big organizations wrote their own shells. Most popular shells are these four. The C shell. C shell is the first shell. The Bourne shell is sh, and Bourne again shell is the improved version of sh shell. This is the this is the keyword for this, and this is the name of the shell. And there is one more, the corn shell. These are the most popular shells, but what we are going to focus on today's webinar is the Bourne again shell. This is the most common shell that is being provided by default by most of the Linux distributions. Because of its advanced functionalities, it provides command and file name completion, advanced scripting features, command history, etc. There are plenty of advantages of Bourne again shell as compared to other shells. So what is shell scripting? Now we understand what is shell and what a script is. First of all, a script is a written document of doing something, right? When you write, you say write a script for this film, right? So you write down everything that film is going to consist of, each dialogue and each of those things. Why do you care about writing scripts? Because this formalize the process, right? Instead of doing everything and remembering everything, um, it removes human intervention, human errors. So this is the same concept which applies to shell scripting. Shell scripting is something, a script is a file in Linux, a script is a file that runs multiple commands from in itself. So say we are going to run a command to find a host name, and then we run another command to find the IP address of the Linux server. Instead of running those two commands separately, we put them in a shell script and we run that shell script, and the shell script will run both those commands in a sequential manner at the same time, right? This is how shell scripting helps. So this is just a matter of two commands, but when it comes to doing complex operations, it comes really handy. You might invest 2 hours running one thing manually, and somebody wrote a shell script, and the same thing can be achieved in 5 minutes, right? So this is what shell scripting is. Let's see what are the components of shell scripts, right? There are certain components. Instead of just writing commands from the shell script, there are certain components that needs to be present, that are there to use when you are writing shell script. One of it is the shebang. Shebang is this this weird hash and exclamation sign. So we'll get to get to discuss it further when we actually write something. Commands are the actual thing which you run to perform the operation, right? But then come variables. Variables are something that you define, that you formalize for something, right? Say you have your name, say your name or my name is Farhan, and I need to write my name in the script 5 times. So I need to write down 5 times in 5 commands. I'm writing my name. Now somebody else wants to use my script, and that person's name is, say, Pooja. But now Pooja wants to run that script for her. Now Pooja needs to edit 5 lines in order to use that script. What we do is we store it in a variable and then use that variable to reference everywhere. Don't worry if you don't understand it right now. We are going to use it as well in coming slides. Then comes logics. Logics are like, say if, if this thing, if you find this, then run this. If you find that, you run that. So we can run that logic as well. Those are the logics. So it's not like you write 5 commands and all of your 5 servers are the same. There might be possible that they are different servers. One is the application server and one is the database server. You don't want to run the same commands on both the servers. So one option is create 2 scripts. Another option is write one master script that actually defines that logic, okay, that can find out which server I'm running on. So this is not specific to server only. You can write down a lot of logics that is depending on calculations as well. So say if the server is up from 10 days, you do this. If the server is not up from 10 days, you do that. So then we will use logics as well in our script. Conditional statements. Conditional statements are similar, which I define. So we'll get to know conditional statement. It says if this and then. So we'll use that as well. We have coming slides for that. And the loops are for repeating things, right? Repeating things. Say if you want to install something on your system, say you want to install 5 packages on your system, you need to do it manually, right? If you're doing it through command line, write command to install one package, then another package, then another package. With loops, you define all those packages and run a loop. So loop will do things again and again until the task accomplishes, right? This is what these things used for. Okay, enough talking. Let's see how things work from a shell script. Here, what I'm going to do is we have 2 commands. These are the actual commands: host name and if config eth0. This first command is for returning host name of the server it is running on, and the second command is for finding out the network configurations of the server it is running on. So let's first run them manually. I have two servers. One is a CentOS server, one is an Ubuntu server. So let me know if you are able to see the terminal. Rashwini, you're able to see the terminal, right?
Yes, Farhan, it is visible.
Okay. All right. So let's run our first command, that is hostname. So hostname says, okay, the hostname of this server is CentOS, right? And let's run if config eth0. That is our second command. Okay, so for this Ethernet adapter, this is the network configuration that we have. This server is having IP address of this. This server has IPv6 address of this, and this is the MAC address. So let's run the same things from our Ubuntu box. If config, so we got similar kind of things, but different values, right? So both of these commands are working on Ubuntu and CentOS. Let's run them from a script. Let's see how shell script can help us. So let's create our first script. The naming is at first script.sh. Let's run let's just put the commands right here without any components that we discussed. All right. You need to change the permission. So if you see the permissions of it, we do not have executable permission. Permission is a separate topic, so we are not going to discuss it. Let me just quickly change the permissions. And okay, and this is how you run your scripts. Here you see when I run the script, it returns me first the host name, which I have written, the first line I have written in this script, and the network information, right? The So this is how you write commands in a file and run it. We cannot say this is a full-fledged shell script because we have just written the commands, but we are going to modify it coming forward. So now that you have an idea how things work in or from a shell script, let's move forward. So these are some advanced topics. Let's discuss about comparison operators. So what are the comparison operators? There are several comparison operators. Comparison operators are pretty much equal in the pretty much same in all the languages. So in shell script, these are the comparison operators that we have. So when we say we need to compare something from another thing, like if I say value of A is equal to value of B, so we use double equal here. We are not using single equal here. Please pay attention. We are not using single equal. Single equal means we are putting first variable's value to the second variable. So that is single equal. So we use for comparison, we use double equal. So this is equals to or equivalent in shell scripting is EQ. You can use both in shell scripting, equal or hyphen EQ. Both works. There are certain things that they do differently, but we're not going to discuss that as this webinar is going to stretch a lot. So for to to explain you, most of the time these things are pretty much do the same thing. So this is not equal to an exclamation, then equal to is not equal to, or hyphen anti. Same, this is greater than or hyphen gt, less than or hyphen lt, less than equal to hyphen l, there should be a hyphen here, or greater than equal to hyphen ge. Hyphen z is a special comparison operators uh, that finds out if the value or if the if the statement that you are providing is zero. If it is zero, it is going to be true. If it is not zero, then it is going to be false, right? So say you are checking, okay, if this variable is zero, then do this thing. If this variable is not zero, then do that thing. So that how is it's work. Let's first see how it how it looks like from a terminal perspective. Um, Let me clear the screen. Okay. All right. Let's open our first script and let's put our shebang here. So shebang is something that you define the interpreter, right? Say I am, we are going to use bash, right? So I'm going to give it the path of bash. That's how the script will know, okay, use this interpreter. Do not use any other interpreter. We are defining our interpreter here because some things are depending on the interpreter. Some things works with one interpreter, doesn't work with another. So you really need to define it here when you're writing complex shell scripts. So let's say we are going to find our host name, right? We are let's so this is how you define variables. I'm creating a host variable here, right? And I'm storing the value of my host name in this variable, and that is through the command host name. This is how you do command substitution. This is something that advanced shell scripting consists of. So this is just to understand, this is just getting my host name to this variable, right? And I'll just say echo is for printing, and I'm saying, okay, this is and dollar underscore host. That's how you get the host, access the variables. Let's run it to see. So it says this is CentOS, right? Let's modify it a little bit to use if. So we are saying if this is the syntax for if, you need to write two square braces here, and if dollar underscore host is equal to and then CentOS, right? This is again the format. So then we are going to print, okay, this is CentOS. Else, what we are going to do is we are going to just run these commands. We're not going to print anything. We're just running these commands. So I need to close it. So this is the syntax of if. You say if, then there is a condition. Then you say then, if that condition passes, then you run this command. Else, if that condition fails, you run these. So this is the syntax, and then you close your if statement with 5. This is a reverse of if. Let's try running it. So you see, it did not install anything. It says, okay, this is CentOS. But if I run the same thing on my other box, that is my Ubuntu box, let me create the same script there. All right. So this is we know this is not CentOS, right? So this is going to go to other condition. Let me change the permissions of it. All right. Here you see it did not print that this is Ubuntu. It actually ran those commands that we defined. So this is how logic works on server to server, or on environment to environment. All right. Hope this is clear. And let's move on to the next topic that we have, and those are loops. Loops, as I already told you, loops are for doing repetitive things. When you want to do something, in say 10 times, the same thing 10 times, you run it in a loop, right? And the script will do the same thing again and again until you achieve your purpose. So there are several loops that are available to use in Linux. One is while loop, right? The second type of loop is for loop, and the syntax of for loop is this: for variable in, and you write down a number of words or a number of your list here, and then do this. Here you'll write down your commands and then do done. There is an until loop and a select loop as well. For this webinar, since this is an introductory webinar, we are going to be focused on for loop only. Let me give you a demonstration how for loop works. Let's write down shell script loop.sh. Right, let me write down my shebang.